Hello, dear students. Very good evening. Good evening, everyone. Welcome to a class for CSEET. Come to CS course once again. Yes, everyone there. Are we good to go? All right. Hello, everyone. Am I audible, visible clearly? But I'm asking this because we had some tech issue in the previous lecture. Hi, Karan. All right, guys. Karan is our CSEET student from Mumbai. Hello, hello. Hello, dear students. Very good evening, all of you. I'm Chartered Accountant and Company Secretary Pavan Gahukar. Welcome to our class for CSEET. Hello, Shashi. Hello, Karan. Hello, Harshita. Hello, Sonika. Hello, everyone. All right. So, yes, CSEET. I am your professor for economics subject. We are on to CSEET level and we are making every effort to storm into CS executive. All right. So yes, economics we were on to. Whenever we study about economics, our point of view will always be, remember, our point of view will always be business. We are on to the very first chapter, basics of demand and supply and forms of market competition. All right. So at the end of the class, yes, very good, Karan. At the end of the class, we shall be asking you some questions. In the previous lecture, we understood in the previous lectures, we have had two. Why do we study economics? That's the issue that we sorted. Then reasons to study economics, economics for citizenship, economics for achieving social change, personal and professional development, tools for rational thinking. This is what we studied. And under tool for rational thinking, we studied human development index, like when will Indians become big entrepreneurs? Okay, when do Indian women become big entrepreneurs like the Americans have? All right. So yeah, that was about HDI. And then the greatest economic problem is, what's the greatest economic problem? Tell me. The greatest economic problem is, come on guys. The greatest economic problem is, the greatest economic problem is scarcity. That is resource scarcity. And this economic problem, all right, solving this economics problem, all right, with limited resources and unlimited human wants, this scarcity is the core of every economy. This scarcity, the study of choice under the conditions of scarcity, is called as economics. All right. So we studied the various approaches, all right, how of the definition of economics, and there are multiple approaches to study economics. The wealth definition of economics by Sir Adam Smith. All right. Then Sir Alfred Marshall gave us welfare definition of economics. Then Sir Lionel Robbins gave us the scarcity definition of economics, and Paul Samuelson gave us the growth definition. In today's agenda, we shall study the nature of economics. So through the discussion in the previous section, one can observe that economics has repeatedly been termed as a science of wealth. All right, so guys, we studied multiple definitions. We have always seen that economics is a science of wealth, is a science which deals with wealth, the body of knowledge which relates to wealth, by Sir Walker. Then economics investigates the nature of wealth and laws of production. Subject treated by political economics is not happiness but wealth, by Professor Senior. So guys, those are all the wealth definition. Economics has been repeatedly termed as a science of wealth or science of material welfare, which is good enough reason to take notion whether or not economics is really a science. We have to see whether or not economics is really a science. We have to check out. The very first question to describe the nature of economics is to ask whether economics is a science or an art or both. Science uses empirical approach. What do you mean by empirical? Based on experiments and practical experience, not on ideas. Science work on experiment. Science work on practical elements. So business economics, it's a combination of science and art both. How so? We shall study now. There are 5 key features of scientific study. Verifiability. You should be able to verify whatever study you are doing, whatever conclusion you reach. Then objectivity. You do certain things, you do certain experiment with an objective in the mind. Then that experiment has to be done under the controlled environment, controllability. Then reliability and predictability. These are the 5 key features of scientific study. How do you learn this? The answer is verify crop. 5 key features of scientific study: verifiability, controllability, reliability, objectivity and predictability. Verify crop. Make sure you write this. Alright, because now our exam is in the mode of writing. You have to write down the answers subjectively. That's why we need to learn these answers. Verify crop. Verify, verifiability. C for controllability. R for reliability. O for objectivity. P for predictability. Okay. So as a subject, economics as a science, let's understand whether economics is really a science. A subject is considered science if whenever you say that this subject is a science, it is considered as science when it's a systemized body of knowledge which studies the relationship between cause and effect. Cause and effect. All right, remember these 2 words: cause and effect. Remember these 2 words. Demand of a product. If you have ever studied law of demand, if you have never studied law of demand, doesn't matter. If you have studied law of demand, all right, cause. If the price increases, what happens to the quantity demanded? If the price increases, if the price of the product increases, what happens to the quantity demanded? Tell me. If the price increases, what happens to the quantity demanded? Come on, tell me, make it fast. If the price of the product increases, absolutely correct. Yes, guys, demand decreases. Demand decreases. Quantity demanded, all right, is inversely related to price. Quantity demanded is inversely related to price. So, increase in price is the cause. Increase in price is the cause, and drop in the quantity demanded, decrease in the quantity demanded is the effect. Decrease in quantity demanded is the effect. This is called as cause and effect. So guys, yes, we can say economics is a science because it's a systematized body of knowledge which studies the relationship between cause and effect. It is capable of measurement. We are able to measure a lot of factors under economics. It has its own methodological apparatus. Apparatus means tools. It has its own method and own tools for measuring things. And it has the ability to forecast. Forecasting means predicting the demand and all. Alright. So we have seen this: verify crop. Forecasting is prediction. How many units of iPhone will be sold this year? How many units of Honda City will be sold this year? We need to understand the forecast. We cannot produce it just like that. We have to predict it. We have to forecast it. If you can do so, of course, it's a science. If you analyze economics, we'll find that all the features. Economics will find that it has got all the features of science. Like science, it studies cause and effect relationship. Cause and effect relationship. The example that we studied was law of demand. Okay, if the price goes up, if the price increases, the quantity demanded decreases, cause and effect. All right. So to understand, let us take the law of demand. It explains the cause and effect relationship between price and quantity demanded. It says, given the other things remain constant, when we compare two things, all other aspects remain constant. The demand for commodity falls and vice versa. To understand, let us take the law of de Ogya. Here the cause is price and the effect is change in the quantity demanded. Similarly, the outcomes are measurable in terms of money. Other things being equal. Well done, Shashi. Similarly, the outcomes are measurable in terms of money. It has its own methodology of study, induction and deduction. So, when we study economics, all right, the outcomes are measurable in terms of money. Remember this. It's measurable in terms, the outcomes, whatever is the output is measured in terms of money. It has its own tools. It has its own methods of induction and deduction. All right. It has its own method to study and its forecast the future market condition with the help of various statistical and non-statistical tools. Thus, majority of economic laws are of this type, and therefore economics is a science. But it is to be noted that economics is not a perfect science like physical science. The fact that we cannot rely upon the accuracy of economic laws, the prediction made on the basis of economic laws can easily go wrong. This is because economists do not have uniform opinion about a particular event. Everyone has different things. Everyone has different thought process. Every economist have different opinion about a particular event. The problem of actual results differ from predicted ones arises on account of the fact that in economics, we cannot have control experiments. Like we have already seen. We have seen what? Quantity demanded is inversely related to price. But it is not true every time. Sometimes the actual results differ from the predicted ones. For this, we'll study something extra that's not given in your ICSI module, exceptions to the law of demand. Here, whenever we study law of demand, if the price increases, quantity demanded decreases. But in these things, conspicuous goods like diamond, if the price of diamond increases, its quantity demanded also increases. Demand for conspicuous goods, it does not follow the law of demand. Exception. Demand for necessaries like basic food, basic LPG cylinder, gas, water supply. All right. Even if the price increases, we don't care. We demand for it. Okay, we demand for it. It's the demand doesn't decrease. And speculative goods like shares. If the price of a share increases, its demand increases. So many a times it never follows the law. The problem of actual results differ from the predicted ones arises on account of the fact that in economics we cannot have controlled experiments. All right. So yeah, by this we can definitely say that economics is definitely a science. Now let's study whether economics is an art. Let's study this. The discipline of the study is termed as art if it tells us how to do things, that is to achieve an end objective. It is noteworthy that the final justification of studying economics lies on the possibility of our ability to use it for solving economic problems faced by us. So when we try to solve the problem, economics is an art. How to economics helps us how to do things to achieve the end objective. Okay, highlight this. Economics, the discipline of study, is termed as an art if it tells us how to do a thing, that is to achieve an end result. Professor John Maynard Keynes says that an art is a system of rule for achievement of a given end. All right, remember this, use it in the exam. An art is a system of rules for the achievement of an given end. We know that in practice, economics is used for achieving a variety of goals. Every individual economic unit, whether acting as a consumer or a producer or an investor or a supplier of an input or in any other capacity, has an economic goal to achieve. It decides its course of action by keeping in mind the end to be achieved and situation faced by it. Whatever you do in life, right now, whatever you do in life, you have only one goal. What is that goal? This exam. Am I right? And we teachers are your tools. We teachers at ProTree are your tools to achieve your end results. Even at national level, the authorities formulate variety of policies. In certain cases, they attempt to plan and operate the entire economy so as to achieve the given set of ends. Therefore, economic laws are widely used and relied upon at all levels of our economic activities, and that makes economics an art. Art is nothing else but the practice of knowledge, whereas science teaches us how to know. Art teaches us how to do. Guys, very important line. बिल्कुल एग्जाम में आपको लिखना ही है. You have to write this in the exam. Art, science teaches us how to know. Art teaches us how to do. Unlike science, which is theoretical, art is practical. If we analyze economics, we find that it has features of being an art also. Its various branches provide practical solution to various economic problems. It helps in solving various economic problems which we face in day-to-day life. Thus, at national level, the authorities formulate a variety of policies. In certain cases, they attempt to plan and operate entire economy so as to achieve a given set of ends. Therefore, economic laws are widely used and relied upon at all levels of our economic activities, and that makes economics an art. Business economics. So business economics is a science as well as art. From the above discussion, one can easily understand that economics is not a pure science as other natural sciences. Economic does follow standard practices adopted by science subjects since it has human element attached in the process. It cannot completely satisfy the fundamental requirements of being a science subject. Economics is both a science and an art. It is science in its methodology and art in its application. Economics is science in its methodology and art in its application. I strongly feel you will see this question in your exam. Economics as a science and art, explain, 5 marks. You may see this question. All right. So we have studied one question. Economics is a science and art. It is a combination. Okay. As it was given in the first slide. Economics is a science or an art? Certainly, it's a combination. It's a science as well as it's an art. It's a combination. All right, see this. Economics, science and art. Remember this. All right. So we have discussed this. The nature of economics. Yes. Economics, science as well as art. Then we study whether economics is positive in nature or normative in nature. Now we have to study whether economics is positive in nature or normative in nature. Positive theory and normative theory. I'll tell you what positive theory is, but we'll study something. The application of mathematical models, empirical testing of economic theories. What do you mean by the word empirical? Tell me. What do you mean by the word empirical? What do you mean by the word empirical? Based on experiments and practical experiences, not on ideas. That's empirical. All right. Yes. Very good, Sashi. Very good, Karan. The application of mathematical models, empirical testing of economic theories, scientifically obtainable results for businesses or policy decision makes economics as being positive in nature, while moral, ethical and collective welfare approaches use economics make it normative in nature. Again, So economics is positive as well as normative. But what exactly is positive and normative? I'll explain you now. Positive theory, how a particular thing is, that's positive. And how a particular thing should have been, that's normative. How a particular thing is, that's positive, and how a particular thing should have been, that's normative. Yeah, very good, Shashi. How a particular thing is, it is like this, accept it, positive, and how it should have been, normative. For example, it is, do not take me otherwise at all. How should your boyfriend look like? How should a boy be? Just it's an example. It's nothing against anyone. Do not take it personally. How your boyfriend should be. And how boys actually are. Are you getting me? So, how it should be. How it should be. Normative. How it should be. Normative. And how he actually is. Positive. Chalo. CSEET. Out of 400. How many marks you should score? Come on, make it fast. What should be your score? What should be your score? Very good, Sharanya. Sharanya is saying 380. Harshita is saying 380. Shashi is saying 300. Alright, that should be your score. Should be. Okay? Should be. What should be? And how much you actually score? It is just an example. Do not take me otherwise. 201. How much you actually land up scoring? 201. So, whatever we have scored, that is positive, what it actually is, and whatever we should have scored, that's normative. A positive or pure science analyzes cause and effect relationship between variables, but it does not pass value judgment. In other words, it states that what is not what ought to be. Positive statements are about facts. Remember this, guys. This is also an important question. Positive statements are about facts. They state what reality is. What is? Or it is like this. Positive. Our parents, our parents are always, you should have been like this. My son, Shashi, you should have been like this. And Shashi says, I am like this only. So when you tell me how I actually am, positive theory, and when they tell you how you should have been, that's normative. According to Robbins, economics is concerned only when the study of economic decision of individuals and the society are positive facts, but not with the ethics of these decisions. Economics should be neutral between ends. It is not for economists to pass value judgment and pronouncement on the goodness or otherwise of human decisions. An individual with limited amount of money may use it for buying liquor and not milk, but that is entirely his business. So guys, economics should be neutral between ends. Remember this. Very important line. Economics should be neutral between ends. Economists should not pass value judgment. Like economists will not tell you should not buy liquor. We always remember, whenever we study about economics, I have already told you. Whenever we study about economics, our point of view will always be, come on, tell me. Our point of view will always be business. It will always be strictly business. All right. Point of view will always be business. So An individual with limited amount of money may use it for buying liquor and not milk. That is entirely his business. He will decide what he will do with his own money. The community may use its limited resources for making guns rather than butter. But it is of no concern of the economist to condemn or appreciate this policy. Economist only studies facts and make generalizations from them. It is pure and positive science which excludes from its scope the normative aspect of human behavior. Alright. The community may use its limited resources for making guns rather than butter. It is of no concern of the economists to condemn or appreciate this policy. So economics is both positive as well as normative. Complete neutrality between ends is, however, neither feasible nor desirable. It is because in many matters the economist has to suggest measures for achieving certain socially desirable ends. For example, when he suggests the adoption of certain policies for increasing employment and raising the rate of wages, he is making value judgment, or then the exploitation of labor and state of unemployment are bad and steps should be taken to remove them. Similarly, when he states that limited resources of the economy should not be used in a way they are being used and should be used in a different way, that is, choice between end is wrong and should be altered, he is making value judgment. When you say you are making value judgment, you are talking about, when you say we are talking about value judgment, you are talking about, tell me, value judgment you are talking about? Sonika, Harshita, Shashi, Karan, come on, answer me. Karanya. When you talk about value judgment, we talk about should be. And when we talk about should be, we talk about normative. Wonderful, guys. Wonderful, Hemant Siva. Wonderful. Normative economics is concerned with normative statements, and normative statements are concerned with what ought to be. Give me another word for ought. Give me another word for ought. Should. In this case, economics is not concerned with the facts, rather it is concerned with how things should be. As normative science, economists involve value judgments. It is prescriptive in nature, what ought to be and what should be things. It is always like that. So economics is positive science also, it is normative science as well. So guys, please make a sticky note of it right now. Make it fast. All right, guys, I hope it's done. Are we done? So as normative science, economics involves value judgment. It is prescriptive in nature. Prescriptive, just like the doctors give prescription. You should You should not drink cold coffee. It will affect your throat. They always prescribe us with all the value judgments, and they'll also give us some medicines, prescriptions. So economics is also prescriptive in nature, that you should do this. The country, the finance minister should do this, so that our currency do not lose value. For example, question like what should be the level of national income? What should be the wage rate? How much of national product be distributed among the people? All fall within the scope of normative economy. Wherever there is a word, remember this, wherever there is a word should, always remember they are talking about normative economics. Thus, normative economics is concerned with welfare propositions. Thus, normative economics is concerned with welfare propositions. How, whatever we are doing with that, how there will be welfare of the people. That is what normative propositions are. This is where economics is normative also. From the above discussion, it shows that economics is both. It is both positive as well as normative in nature. So guys, we have studied this theory. All right. Whether economics is positive or normative in nature, the answer is, what is the answer? Both. And we have studied whether it's a science or art. The answer is again both. All right. Moving ahead. The scope of economics. The scope of subject economics is vast and ever expanding. It is no more a branch of knowledge that deals only with production and consumption. However, the basic thrust, the basic perspective, the basic point of view still remains on using the available resources efficiently while giving the maximum satisfaction or welfare to the people on sustainable basis. Not once, not twice, but sustainable. All right, the resources should be used from the point of view of giving maximum satisfaction to the people and welfare to the people on sustainable basis. Given this, we can list some of the major branches of economics as, what is the scope of economics? All right. Given this, we can list some of the major branches of economics as microeconomics, very restricted area. Microeconomics. Then we also cover macroeconomics. All right, microeconomics related to one particular segment or one particular business. So when we think about ProTree Academy, we talk about microeconomics. But when we talk about India as a whole, we talk about macroeconomics, macroeconomics, whatever you say. When we talk about the entire world, we are talking about international economics. Well, what will happen between US and Iran war? International economics. What will happen with the Russia and which country we are fighting with? Which country the Russians are fighting with? Come on, tell me. It's been 4 years since the war is on. Which country? No one? Ukraine. All right, international economics. Very good, Harshita. That's international economics. And then public finance, about how to handle public money, the budgeting. All right, we have this public finance. Let's check your curriculum once. What chapters do we have? Yeah, Indian Union budget. Okay, this is public finance. We'll study about that. Then development economics, how a country will develop, how will we grow. Then environmental economics, about the environment. All right, and urban and rural economics. All right, so these are the scope of economics. We shall study them in detail in the next lecture. But yeah, today we catered two things. That is, economics is science as well as art, and economics, whether economics is positive or normative, the answer is both. The above discussion shows that economics is both positive as well as normative in nature. With whatever we have catered today, let's test your knowledge. Well, guys, I hope in the meantime must have studied a little. All right, the students who are attending this quiz live will be able to give the answers perfectly. The students who are attending this live will be able to use the Menti app. The students who are watching this lecture afterwards may not be able to use the app. You just, wonder about what the answers could be and try to gain knowledge. All right. First question. Are you ready? Go, go, go. All right, guys. The first question, economic studies cause and effect relationship between economic phenomena. This makes economics as. Guys, try to understand the question. Economics is both science and art, but what questions they have put in, you have to understand that question as well. Economic studies cause and effect relationship between the economic phenomena. This makes economics as a science. So understand the context of the question, understand the perspective of the question. Check out the leaderboard. So Sharanya is right on top, Dr. Centipede, Kathy. All right, rest of the stuff, rest of the students, they've got it wrong. Or any which ways, we can make a good comeback. Let's study this. Next question. Are you ready? Make sure you get it right. Go, go, go. Read the question carefully. But guys, economics is dash like a physical science. Economics is dash like a physical science, not a perfect science like physical science. Economics is not a perfect science like physical science. All these small MCQs will help you to make up with theory answers. You have to be very good with this knowledge. So a lot of students have got this right. Sharanya, how could you get this wrong? So Dr. Centipede is right on top, followed by Arnav, followed by Sharanya, Krishna, Sebastian, Harshita, Shreya, Fazia, Sonika, and Thinky. Never mind. Next question. Are you ready? Go, go, go. Art is nothing else but politics, practice of knowledge, science, economics. The answer is art is nothing else but practice of knowledge. All right, I cannot tell you more, but yeah, once we are done with this quiz, we'll have a rapid round today. All right, of summary of what all we studied today. The Dr. Centipede is right on top. Arnav has lost it. Taranya is back in the scheme of things. So Dr. Centipede followed by Shreya, Fazia, Harshita, Sharanya, Sonika, Arnav, Krishna, Sebastian, and Afreen. All right. Next question. Two more questions to go, guys. Give in your best shot. All right. Go, go, go. All right. So science teaches us to know. Science teaches us to know. Art teaches us to do. This line will certainly be there in your exam. Remember this. Let's check out the leaderboard. Dr. Centipede is leaving nothing for no one. Doctor, followed by Shreya, Sharanya, Sonika, Fezia, Harshita, Barefoot, Contessa, Montana, Hemant, and Afreen. Last question. Are you ready? Go, go, go. When we say what should be the things, it is a dash statement. The word is should. Whenever the word is should, negative, positive, normative, management. The answer is normative. Well done, guys. A lot of students got it right. They've got it right. Well done. The doctor is the winner. Who's Dr. Centipede? Please reveal yourself. Followed by Shreya, Sharanya, Sonika, Fezia, Harshita, Barefoot, Montana, Krishna, and Thinky. Well done, guys. So yeah, we tested your knowledge quite well, and let me get you a quick recap of what all things we did. So business economics, the basic discussion was business economics. Is it a science or an art? The answer is both. All right, it's a science as well as an art. Here are the 5 key features of scientific study. What's the shortcut to remember this? Verify, crop verifiability, controllability, reliability, objectivity, predictability. All right, and we have seen science works on cause and effect relationship. When we study about cause and effect relationship, we say it's a science. Like demand, the law of demand says that the price of a product increases, the quantity demanded decreases. So guys, there's a cause and there is an effect. We have to understand this. But it is to be noted that economics is not a perfect science like physical science. It cannot be accurate because human element is involved when it comes to economics. This is because economists do not have a uniform opinion in a particular event. All the economists, just check this out, all the economists have a different point of view towards everything. Professor Adam Smith studies economics from the point of view of wealth. Sir Alfred Marshall studies it from the point of view of welfare. Whereas Sir Lionel Robbins studies it from the point of view of scarcity. And Dr. Professor Paul Samuelson studies it from the point of view of growth. Everyone has got multiple and different definition of the same concept. For example, one small example, when it comes to the definition of economics, everyone have their own set of definitions. So this is because economists do not have a uniform opinion about a particular event. The problem of actual results differ from the predicted ones arises on account of the fact that in economics we cannot have controlled experiments. All right, economics is an art as well. The discipline of study in terms as an art, if it tells you how to do a thing, that is achieve an end objective. It is noteworthy that the final justification for studying economics lies in the possibility of our ability to use it for solving economic problems faced by us. Guys, remember this, economics is an art. You'll have to write this. An art is a system of rule for the achievement of the given end. And remember this always. Art is nothing else but practice of knowledge. Science teaches us to know. Art teaches us to do. Remember this. All right. And yes, then business economics, we have finalized it that it's a science as well as an art. Followed by whether economics is positive or normative. When particular thing is in the form of how it is, it's positive, and how it should be, that is normative. So yeah, when it comes to the final discussion, all right, always remember this. Economics only studies facts and make generalizations from them. It's a pure and positive science which excludes normative aspects. All right, but people will always try to do welfare objectives People will always try to do something good for the people, and this is where it also becomes normative science. Like, people should not drink alcohol, people should not smoke. That should always comes in. From the above discussion, we can certainly say that economics is both positive as well as normative in nature. All right. And then scope of economics: micro, macro, international, public finance, development economics, environmental, urban and rural economics, which we shall study in the next class. All right, guys, shall we call it a day? All right. Always remember, whenever we study economics, the point of view is always, always and always business. All right. So guys, that's all from today as far as economics is concerned. If you have any doubts, please drop into the comment section. This is Pavan Gahukar signing off from yet another lecture of economics. See you in the next class. Till then, take care of yourself. Study well. Bye-bye, guys. Guys, if you have any doubts, let me know. I'm still here. If you have any doubts, let me know. I'm still here. If you have any doubts, please let me know. Thank you, Karan. It's so nice to see your student from another city. If you have any doubt, you can drop in on Instagram as well. All right, good to go. Shall we call it a day? All right, guys, that's it for the day. This is Pavan Gahukar signing off. See you in the next lecture. Bye-bye.